Hey friends, welcome back to our channel. In today's video, I'd like to answer some questions about the rinse. Rinse is a common step in Gongfu tea brewing. We'll have a full video dedicated to explaining what is rinse and how to do it. And if you are new to Gongfu tea brewing, don't worry. In this video, we explain what is Gongfu tea and what's the difference between Gongfu tea brewing and the traditional Western style tea brewing. First of all, I'd like to thank you all for watching and commenting on our videos. I really appreciate you share your thoughts and questions with us. Most of the time, I try to answer those questions quickly in a reply so that you can get the information you want and get to enjoy your tea. But sometimes I come across some very interesting, inspiring, or sometimes bizarre questions that I think maybe other tea lovers might share the same confusion, or I think the question might require a little bit longer answer. I'd like to make them into videos. And in this kind of Q&A video, you might find out that you probably know by now that I'm pretty wordy. And these videos is extreme demonstration of that. So please be patient with me. I'd like to walk through my train of thought with you, and I'll make an effort to deliver a simple version and the full thought at the same time so that you can decide how much information you want to absorb. Without further ado, let's get started. Liam Azurda, I hope I pronounced that right, asked a serious questions about rinse. These questions are very interesting. I like to tackle them paragraph by paragraph. First, to brew an Ali Shan, 1 minute rinse and a 4-minute brew. Is it correct or too long for rinsing? Ali Shan is a Taiwanese oolong tea, usually considered as a green oolong, meaning it's lighter roast, lighter oxidized. Is it correct or not? The short answer to it is I don't know. The only information I know is it's an Ali Shan oolong tea. This is not enough information for me to decide the detail of brewing. In this case, I usually recommend brewing in the way that we showed in this Jie Guanyin video. This is a pretty general guideline when you just start to get used to or get to know oolong tea. The long answer is, of course, I still don't know if it's correct or not, but I have 2 layers to your question. First, you are asking me if it's right or wrong. That means you probably have some doubt about this method of brewing this tea. So I think the best way to approach this is maybe asking the person who gave you this instruction why. I think they will have the best answer. Second, let's focus to this 1 minute rinse. It does sound very long, and let's assume this 1 minute rinse, we're gonna dump this water instead of drinking it. This is very interesting to me. Why would you do such a long rinse? Let me think about myself. When would I do a long rinse with oolong tea? Usually, maybe an aged tea. By age, I don't mean 5 to 10 years. I mean 20, 30, or much older. But here, I only know it's a Ali Shan oolong, but it's a really aged tea. I assume you would mention that. So this might not be the case. And again, even with a really aged tea, would I rinse for 1 minute? Probably not. It still feels quite long to me. So why 1 minute? Another guess is maybe something to do with its roasting or say drying level. Well, in that case, I'd like to taste the tea to know if my guess is correct. Another thing you can try at home is maybe brew that in the way that you're most comfortable with, then compare to the suggested way and see which one you like it best. Overall, this suggestion seems a little bit confusing to me. Second, if you rinse a white, green, or yellow tea, you can use the water of the rinse to brew or steep, I'm told. This is not for hygiene purposes, but for opening the leaves faster and steeping shorter. Does it make sense? This is another super interesting question. Does it make sense? Simple answer, no, it doesn't. It doesn't make sense to me. Here is my full thoughts. First, why? Why would you use rinse water to brew again? Well, you might say the statement explain why. This is not for hygiene purposes, but for opening the leaves faster and steeping shorter. This is not logical. There's an implication. This is the reason. Like B is the reason we can do A. But upon reflection, B is not necessarily the logical reason for doing A, assuming B is a correct statement. To me, it sounds more like to prove my point B, I'm gonna do A just for the purpose of proving B. So in Chinese, we have a perfect saying for that.
脱裤子放屁.
The word-by-word translation is,
That's the act of taking your trousers off to fart.
personally, I really don't see the point of doing this. I usually recommend no need to rinse these teas, which is an option. Some might say that by using the rinse water to brew again, it might help lower the water temperature, in which case I would suggest you to lower the water temperature to the desired level and use that water to brew for the first infusion and don't do the rinse. And the disadvantage of pouring back and forth like this is you're gonna lose some aroma. In terms of evaluating or enjoy the full taste of these teas, aroma is a very critical aspect. So when we brew tea, you might notice a lot of detailed controlling of water to minimize aroma loss. And when we do this rinse, then pour out, then brew, then pour out again, there is aroma loss. Another thing I want to talk about here is open the tea leaves faster and shorten the steeping time. This sounds not quite right to me because white, green, yellow tea compared to other tea types are not very tightly rolled. They are very easy to open and usually their brewing time is not necessarily that short. If you check our green tea brewing video or white tea brewing video, sometimes we steep for 60 seconds, 90 seconds. Usually these three tea categories are not overly brewing time sensitive. So talking about open the tea leaves and shorten the brewing time, this is really not a concern for white, green, or yellow tea. Most of the time when we talk about this is when we brew oolong tea, when it's tightly rolled, or with certain dark teas that are tightly pressed. So overall, the statement sounds very clustered for me. In the end, I'd like to emphasize that my focus is on the taste of the tea, how to bring out the taste of the tea. Some people might be more interested in ritual or ceremony, that movement, the flow, and how that feels, which is totally fine. It's just a different focus. And of course, in the end, you can always experiment and see what's your preferred way to brew. Last but not the least, this is an interesting way to brew pu'er. And the simple answer to this is I suggest to enjoy the first two infusions and dump the last one instead of dump the first one and enjoy the last two. While the full answer, you probably know by now, is quite wordy. And I'd like to analyze what you say here first. Is if I look at somebody who brew like that, three infusion wouldn't be the same. The first infusion would be strong and intense, much deeper color, much stronger taste, and the second one is lighter, and the third one, assuming is the full capacity of the tea, it will be very weak. And you suggested to dump the first one and enjoy the last two. I'm guessing that you are leaning towards lighter tea. Maybe naturally you didn't like that full power on first infusion. If that's the case, how about we do the first infusion for 1 minute, try it out, second infusion for 1.5 minutes, and then jump the rest. Just try it out. Maybe it's not quite 1 minute and 1.5 minutes, but play with it, because usually we think the first few infusions has all the essence of the tea, while later ones is much lighter in all the substance and compounds. But sometimes you might actually don't want so much substance in your tea. For example, if it's evening, you want less caffeine and you're less concerned about enjoy the best of the tea. Yes, of course, go ahead, dump the first long infusion and enjoy the rest two infusion. That's totally fine. In the end, like I always say, there's no the right way to do it. Whatever works for you is the most important. Feel free to experiment and let me know how you like your unique way of brewing tea. I hope this is helpful. Let me know if you have more thoughts on this, and please chime in if I missed some possible reasons and explanations. Until next time, keep steeping.